Everyone ready? Yep. Tom, we spoke last week and you said you were going to finish one round in the first round. Job done tonight?
Yeah, job done, feel like it was a good performance, everything went as planned and, on to the next one.
You're asking for that bonus. Do you think it's going to happen and how would you spend it?
Yeah, I think it should happen, and if I got the bonus, first thing I'd do is invest it into my training, get high level training and become a better fighter. Also, I'd like to maybe get out of the TriStar dorms. I live there and I love it there, but it'd be good to have my own place.
What's it been like training at TriStar?
Oh, I love it there. First time at TriStar was 2013. I've been living in the dorms now for over a year. Training, I love it there. People are great, and I'm improving every day.
Let's speak about the crowd, and they gave you a good reception there tonight, even though the hometown boy lost. What was it like to fight out there this evening?
Oh, it was amazing, and the Irish fans, that they are the best in the world. This week I've had so much support from the Irish fans, even though I was fighting their hometown guy and whatnot. They're amazing.
The match got pretty bloody pretty early. Were you at all worried about blood would get in your eyes and that it would somehow affect your performance?
Blood actually did get into my eye. We had an exchange and some blood went into my eye and my eye went blurry for a sec, but I wiped it out and back to business.
But nothing that affected
No, nothing.
Tom, it's the race for the first English champion. In the UFC, you've definitely thrown your hat in there. Depending on results elsewhere tonight, Nicholas Dolby fighting another Englishman in Darren Till. Could that be a potential big fight for UFC London? To help the race for the first English champion.
Well, yeah, if the UFC want me to fight Darren Till, obviously he's got a tough fight. I think the UFC will probably go down the route of the English fighters versus the rest of the world, and I think at the moment I'd rather fight a guy from outside of England just for the fact that I'd only like to, because they're my fellow countrymen, and I'd like to fight an Englishman. Say if he was up there when I'm closer to the top, I'm still only my second fight in the UFC. But if they said that it was Darren Till, I would never say no. I'm confident against anyone.
Have you got anyone else in mind?
No, you're so close after a fight. I was just thinking about Pendred, so Pendred was the one that I was thinking about fighting, and now that's the job done, I'll have a think about who's next.
Was it a tough week, but obviously Joe having to pull out of the fight? His teammate. Was that psychologically any problems, any issues with the team?
Yeah, I was very disappointed for Joe. He's worked so hard. Especially for it to be the last day of training camp. He trained all the way through. And I was very disappointed for him. But I got to stay focused on my fight. It was a big fight for me. This was.
It was relatively one-sided. He didn't really seem to crack you or really stumble you at all. Were you expecting it to be that dominant?
Mentally, I was prepared for the worst. So mentally I was preparing to be in bad situations and getting out of bad situations. But I came out and I controlled the distance, and my training was better than his, I believe, and that's why I won, because my training's superior.
You mentioned that you want to fight on the London card. Obviously, the UFC missed out on London this year. Can you just describe what it would mean for you to be able to fight in London in front of your home country?
Yeah, it'd be great, and going back to England don't really have any stars, the UK, and I'd like to be one of the guys that makes the country proud.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think England doesn't have stars?
I'm not sure. It's just timing with things sometimes. Bisbee was done amazing. Dan Hardy, he fought for the title, and I believe next time I think it will be me. I'll be the next one, and I'll be the big name, I believe.
Do you think it's a new wave coming through now in England? We're seeing a lot of guys coming up.
There's a new wave. There's a lot of great talent. There's Scott Askham, Darren Till, Arnold Allen's coming through. He's at TriStar now, so we got some great guys.
There was a lot of talk of you and Carl fighting over the years, even in Cage Warriors. I think you were scheduled to fight in Bahrain.
Yes.
Is it good to finally put it behind you and move on, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yes, definitely. It's good to put it behind me, and I think the way I've done it as well, he doesn't get stopped. He's got a great chin, and I went out there and I took him out in the first round, so I think that was impressive.
How will you celebrate this win?
I'd probably just enjoy my food, and I can't wait to get back into the gym, to tell the truth, and get back to training. I might go to New York and do some training as well soon. So
There was some talk about you being over 200 pounds. Is that correct? Did you get up to 200 pounds?
I got up to 196. So yeah, this was the biggest weight I've ever put on. I'm walking around at like 210 pounds sometimes. I'm a big guy for a welterweight, so my future one day might be at 185.
What do you think of Pandred's performance tonight?
Pardon?
What do you think of Pandred's performance tonight?
I feel like he hasn't really improved over the years that much. He's gotten by on his desire to win, and out there, you know, he showed his toughness. I think a lot of guys, if I would have cracked him like that and I dropped him, they would have just backed down. I think I broke his nose, and he kept fighting. I cracked him with some heavy shots, and he kept going. You know, he's a warrior, and I respect him.
Are you going to be going back to Birmingham and you know after the fight now?
I want to go to Birmingham before the end of the year, but I got some training plans. You know, as long as I come out of this fight injury free, I had some plans in training, so I'm going to go back and get back to training.
Thanks, Tom.